and welcome back to my channel and another Kendra's Card Challenge video hop. In this hop I'll be using This Calls for Confetti. This card challenge runs July 1st through September 30th, and here are all of our magical super sponsors, and you will make 15 cards with 6 sheets of 6x6 pattern paper and enter to win prizes. So today we're using This Calls for Confetti, and I'm going to be using sketch number 6 to create a card. And we've got this adorable little sentimental Sasquatch, but we've got these really pretty papers, which I absolutely adore. And so there's a lot of outside forest scenes, and then there are some solid colors, and then there's a couple of prints. And so we'll be using several papers from this paper pack. And I already have mine pre-cut, but this is called Elusive Prints. I'm going to go ahead and clip that back together. And then I've got the Sentimental Sasquatch, which is so stinking cute. And we've got I've Heard You're Totally Feeling a Little Squashy, Feel Better Soon, The Man, the Myth, the Legend. Not All Who Wander Are Lost, Believe, Ew, People. I love that. Believe in Yourself When No One Else Does. Dad, I'm Always There for You. Happy Father's Day. It's Your Birthday. Let's Make It Legendary. So we'll use a sentiment and one of the Sasquatches, and then there are some coordinating dies which I will also use. So I'm going to start by putting together my card layers, and again this is sketch number 6. And what I've done here is I have gone ahead and cut these out with my decal trimmer because I wanted a little bit of more of an organic look. And I'm going to just deepen down my edges here on all of the pieces with some Scorched Timber Distress ink and my little tiny distressing tool, or my little tiny blending tool. And while I'm doing that, we'll talk a little bit about today's hop. So today is a multiple person hop, and I hope that you can hop along with everybody. There is a digital prize from Kendra, and the prize claim form is listed down below, and all the rules to the contest as well. And the winners will be announced on Kendra's Card Challenge community, Kendra's Cards by Kendra, I'll get it spit out, community tab. So you can enter on each stop along the hop, so you have multiple chances to win. So pretty cool little contest. And I feel like just darkening up these edges really kind of helps kind of give that rustic look that I'm looking for. Look, I grew up in Northern California and then migrated to Oregon, so the Squatch, or the Bigfoot, is a pretty much big part of the lore around where I grew up, and there were sightings. And my husband, believe it or not, is a huge Bigfoot fan, and he listens to this guy who tells people's stories about encounters with Bigfoot. So I don't go that far, but I think it's kind of a neat little legend. Do I believe? I mean, why not? Why couldn't there be? So let's go for it. And, if not, not. But it just seems to me, with as many people who seem to have seen this elusive creature, that it probably exists. Anyway, there's a debate for you. I'll let you figure that one out for yourself. Okay, I'm all done doing the edges here, so I'm going to go ahead and put all the pieces together, because I'm not going to do a whole lot of popping up on this. I like to keep my cards relatively flat, but there are multiple layers on this, so it isn't exactly flat. And I'm just going to use some liquid glue to glue these down. So our super sponsor today is This Calls for Confetti. And she has so many neat things in her shop, and she sent us this set for all the designers. So you'll see several takes on this particular paper, pad, stamp, and die set. And that's what's kind of cool about these hops, is that, maybe one person's thing isn't your thing, but somebody else's is. So, don't miss out. Make sure to show some love on all the hoppers. All right, we've got this layer down. Now we're going to put this little tree layer down. And these papers coordinate so beautifully. And I do like kind of the rustic greens and forest colors. Okay, we'll get this one down. And the trimming with the decal trimmer really kind of gives it more of a rustic feel. Then we'll go ahead and get our circles down. Then we'll go ahead and tackle our Sasquatch. And I'll be coloring that with just an Arteza, no, not Arteza, I never get this right, Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend in the gold brown blend. And that's the only one I have in browns, so that's what we're using. You don't have to make huge investments to do card making. So these markers, these Tri-Blend markers, run around 12 bucks a piece. And to me, that's a good deal. I could probably buy one once every other month and start to collect them versus like Copics that, wow, excuse me, but that's too much money for me. All right, so there we've got everything all put together, and we'll get to work on our little Squatch here. And I'm going to do the mischievous looking little one. Because he is the social distance champion. And I like to cut the tops off of these versus trying to open them and close that sticky thing that just makes us all crazy. So I just cut the top off and slide it on out. And I'll be stamping this in my Mini Misty. And that black thing in there is an old photopolymer stamp that I stained up years ago, but it was a huge like 8x8 stamp, and I just cut it down to fit. And that was before they came out with those those new mats that they have. So works great. I'm not mad. And I'm going to go ahead and use some ink on 3 to stamp this out. So ink on 3, the waterproof hybrid is alcohol marker friendly. So I usually stamp this about 3 times to get it nice and black. And then I will speed up my coloring a little bit. Well, let's go ahead and make sure that's nice and stamped down. I'll pull that out and I'll go ahead and clean off my stamp right away so it doesn't stain too badly or get all gummy. And I love the card even without the Squatch, just the circles and stuff. I think it's really pretty. So you could just do something like that and then toss a sentiment on there. But since we have our darling little Squatch. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp out the sentiment on a piece of this scrap paper from the paper pad that I cut the circle out of. And I'm just going to cut it or stamp it kind of catty corner. So that I have the most length out of it. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to do the social distancing. At first I have trouble deciding. I always have trouble deciding what sentiment, but the social distancing one is kind of my thing, so definitely going with that one. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab my white embossing powder. First I'm going to hit this with my anti-static powder tool. This is a Rabbit Hole Designs patented design, and I really like it because it doesn't get it too powdery. And then I'll go ahead and grab my white embossing powder. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, I got myself a piece of paper. I've got my embossing powder. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my Wow ink pad, embossing pad, and just stamp that down a couple of times. And I'm not entirely sure this is going to work well on this paper, but it ends up working, so I'm not mad. Just make sure I don't smush it down too hard because the paper is a little bit glossy. I suspect you might be able to foil on this paper, but I haven't tried it, so we'll go ahead and move this aside, pour our embossing powder over, and then heat emboss it. And give it a little thump there. Yeah, not bad. I'm not mad. I'm going to blow on it a little bit. And we'll go ahead and clean up my mess here, and then I'll go ahead and heat emboss that down. So Kendra's Card Challenges, if you want to join and play along, all you need to do is go to Kendra's Patreon channel, which is listed down below. And again, our super sponsor here is This Calls for Confetti, and they are giving away a $25 gift certificate to one lucky winner. You can enter up to 3 times, so once per month. You need to do all 15 cards and take a picture of all 15 of them together. and then post them on Kendra's Card Challenges Facebook group in the appropriate album. And then you'll be entered to win. And Kendra announces on a premiere generally at the end of the month, and then at the end of the quarter, the biggest prize winners. So I'm just coloring this out, and I'm just kind of doing a light dark blend because I said I only have one brown, and I'm just kind of fixing there where I went over, because yeah, it's kind of hard with these brushes to get in those teeny tiny areas and not get it everywhere. So that's what white gel pens are for. So I'm just adding in the shadow layers. And so the link is down below to Kendra's Card Challenges website, and all you need to do is join as a Patreon or a patron on her Patreon. There's a free level, and you can download the PDF for this file and print it out and use it to make your own 15 cards. And you can get quite a collection going. And then Kendra also has other patron levels that have extra bonuses, like bonus printables, and she even now has SVGs that you can buy and download to print out your, to cut out your pieces rather than having to hand cut them. So that's kind of handy if, you have a cutting machine like a Cricut or a Silhouette or a Scan and Cut. I'm just adding some extra shading in here. Okay, and then let's just come back in with the gel pen, and what I'm doing is just kind of cleaning up the edges where I went over with my pen, and you probably can't see them, but I definitely can see them. And then I'm going to add some crazy highlights here and there, just with my gel pen, and I'm going to cut that out. And I've cut it out 3 extra pieces to make it kind of thicker. And then I cut out the sentiment in just a thin strip. I'm going to go ahead and glue this little Squatch guy down, just right around that tree, a little bit lower, because I'm going to kind of have him standing on his sign. And just make sure that's good and stuck down. And I'll go ahead and get a piece of foam tape here. I'm going to get a kind of a thicker one. We'll use this one here. I'm just going to kind of lay it down and then trim it off. And this card will be finished. I won't be putting any embellishments or anything on it because I kind of am thinking of it as a dude's card. And I'll probably give it to my husband because he's a Squatch lover. So I'll go ahead and make sure that's good and stuck down. Like I said, everything you need to know is linked down below. So if I forgot to say anything, it's all right there for you. And I thank you so much for visiting my channel and hopping along with us. And myself and the other design teamers, we really appreciate you. And if you like this video, consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. So here's the finished card. And I also have a membership, so all of my videos are ad-free. So I do offer a membership if you want to help out the channel. And here's a still photo of our little Squatch. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.